Welcome to my channel. Here are 3 terrifying true grocery store horror stories that will haunt you. Story 1. I'll never forget the first night I worked the graveyard shift at that old grocery store. It was one of those rundown places with flickering fluorescent lights and aisles that seemed to stretch on forever. I remember stocking shelves, the soft hum of the refrigerators, the faint echo of cleaning carts. Everything was quiet. Almost too quiet. Then I heard it. Whispers, soft and sibilant, slithering between the neatly stacked cans like a chill wind rustling through dead leaves. I tried to focus on my work, but it was impossible. Not just because of the whispers, but because of them. They seemed to materialize from the shadows cast by the flickering lights. I could sense their gazes boring into me, cold and heavy like tombstones. At first, I convinced myself it was a trick of the light, a figment of my imagination. But when I turned toward the source of the whispers, I saw them. Heads twisted, grotesquely contorted at unnatural angles, eyes locked onto me, unblinking, unwavering. It was like staring into the abyss and having the abyss stare back. I couldn't scream. I couldn't move. All I could do was watch as they advanced, their twisted forms looming larger, their whispers growing louder, more insistent. They were everywhere. In every aisle, around every corner, behind every shelf. They were a legion of the damned, and I was trapped there with them. I wanted to flee, but my legs felt rooted to the spot. My lungs froze, my voice caught in my throat. They closed in on me, their whispers becoming a cacophony, their eyes boring into me, searing my retinas. Then, as abruptly as they appeared, they vanished. As quickly as they came, the whispers faded, the shadows retreated, leaving me alone in the eerie silence of the grocery store. But I knew they were there, lurking in the darkness, waiting for me to turn my back, waiting for me to let my guard down. I could feel their presence like a shroud, heavy and suffocating. I was trapped in a nightmare from which there was no escape. And I knew, with a chilling certainty, that this was only the beginning. Story 2. By the second night, I knew I couldn't ignore it. Every aisle had at least one customer. Their heads were twisted unnaturally, like they were made of something else entirely. They stared blankly ahead, their eyes devoid of life, their mouths twisted into grotesque smiles. Sometimes I could swear the reflection in the freezer didn't match anyone in the store. The first time it happened, I froze. A man walked past me, head spinning slowly. His eyes were locked onto mine. He didn't blink. He didn't look away. And then I heard it. A whisper. My name. I spun around, but there was nothing there. No one had passed behind me, yet I felt it, their gaze crawling over my skin, pressing into my mind. I ran to check the break room, but it was empty. The manager's office? Nothing. I found some of the night staff huddled near the front, but their eyes were blank, unfocused. They didn't respond when I called out to them. They didn't seem to hear me at all. I tried to keep working, but the carts started moving on their own, rolling slowly toward me, their shadows looming large and dark. The lights flickered, casting grotesque shapes on the walls, and in the flickering glow, I saw them move. Comment, I see it, if you notice something moving behind you before it notices you. Story 3. After watching this, check your camera roll. That reflection in the freezer, maybe it's still staring. On the third night, I thought I could handle it. I hid in the storage room, praying it was just a bad dream. But when I peeked out, I saw them all the night staff lined up, heads twisting in perfect unison, staring right through the tiny window of the door. Their eyes, hollow, endless, reflected the faint light filtering in from the parking lot. They stared at me, and I knew, with a sickening certainty, that I wasn't safe here. There was nowhere left to hide. Wait, did that reflection just move again? Subscribe before they find you too. Drop a comment if this has happened to you. Stay tuned for the next terrifying story. Keep your eyes wide open because if you blink, you might totally miss them.